Single dad tried to keep his daughter quiet in the waiting room, but her words made the billionaire CEO woman tear up. The fluorescent lights of the sleek corporate lobby hummed softly above the sterile, modern furniture. At the far end of the room, leather chairs lined the wall where professionals sat buried in emails, business calls, or nervous silence. But in the corner, slouched low in his chair, sat Ethan Walker, a single dad with calloused hands, wrinkled khakis, and a jacket 2 winters old. Next to him, clutching a slightly battered stuffed bunny, was his 5-year-old daughter, Lily. "Daddy," Lily whispered, tugging on his sleeve. "When will it be our turn?" Ethan leaned closer, brushing a strand of her blonde hair behind her ear. "Soon, sweetheart. Just a little while longer. Try to stay quiet, okay?" He glanced at the frosted glass doors in front of them. Behind them was the executive boardroom of Valentech, the multi-billion-dollar tech firm that had posted a rare opening for a community outreach coordinator, a job far below its usual pay grade, but one that Ethan saw as a potential lifeline. Since losing his wife 3 years ago, Ethan had been juggling night shifts at a warehouse, side gigs fixing appliances, and every odd job he could find, just to keep a roof over Lily's head. Across the lobby, a poised woman in a tailored navy blue suit stepped out from the elevator. Her heels clicked softly as she made her way across the marble floor. This was Vanessa Reed, the CEO of Valentech, brilliant, successful, and known for her razor-sharp leadership. The room instinctively straightened at her presence. But as she approached the receptionist, her eyes fell on the little girl with the bunny, whispering excitedly to her dad. "I drew something for the person you're gonna talk to," Lily said, pulling out a folded piece of paper from her tiny backpack. "So they know you're a good daddy." Ethan smiled tightly, embarrassed. "Lily, we talked about this. Not everyone wants drawings." But Lily had already climbed off the chair and walked right up to Vanessa Reed, holding out the picture. The entire lobby seemed to pause. Vanessa looked down, mildly startled. "This is for me." Lily nodded. "It's you, I think. Daddy showed me your picture. You look kinda serious, so I gave you a smile." Vanessa unfolded the drawing. It was a crayon version of her, standing beside a tall man holding a little girl's hand. Above it, in uneven pink letters, was written, "Nice people help people." There was an awkward silence, and Ethan rushed over. "I'm so sorry, ma'am," he said quickly. She doesn't mean to bother anyone." But Vanessa knelt down, still staring at the drawing. Something about the innocent depiction, the warm eyes she'd never seen in herself before, touched a place she thought she'd buried years ago. She looked at Lily again. "What's your name?" "Lily," she grinned. "And that's my daddy, Ethan. He says being kind is free, but it changes everything." Vanessa blinked. For a moment, she couldn't find her voice. Ethan gave an apologetic laugh, gently pulling Lily back. "Really sorry about that, ma'am. We'll keep quiet." But Vanessa stood up, suddenly looking at him closely. "Ethan Walker?" she asked. "You're here for the outreach interview?" "Yes, ma'am. I know I'm probably underqualified, but Come with me," she said, surprising even the receptionist. "Both of you." The other candidate stared as Ethan gathered Lily and followed the CEO into the boardroom. Inside, Vanessa motioned for him to sit. Lily hopped into a chair beside him, swinging her legs. "I don't usually do this," Vanessa said, laying the drawing on the table. "But I used to be Lily." Ethan blinked. "I'm sorry. My father worked 3 jobs. Raised me alone after my mom left. I remember the waiting rooms. The way he always told me to be quiet. The look in his eyes, like he was always apologizing for just existing." She paused, eyes distant. "No one ever noticed us. We were invisible. Until one woman gave my dad a job that changed everything. That act of kindness, it's why I'm sitting here today." Ethan didn't know what to say. He hadn't expected sympathy, certainly not from a woman whose net worth could rebuild entire neighborhoods. "I've seen your application," she continued. "You have no college degree, but your references are glowing. Everyone talks about how you fix things, not just machines, but people. A neighbor said you helped her get groceries for months without asking for a dime." Ethan flushed. It wasn't a big deal. She lost her husband. "I just did what anyone would." "No," Vanessa said softly. "Not everyone would." She turned to Lily. "You think your daddy's a good man?" Lily nodded fiercely. "He's the best." Vanessa smiled, a real, unguarded smile that softened her face. Then she reached across the table and shook Ethan's hand. "You're hired." His mouth fell open. "Ma'am, thank you, but, why?" She gestured to Lily's drawing. "Because kindness is free. And it changes everything." Tears welled in Ethan's eyes as he looked down at his daughter. He had no idea a crayon drawing could open a door he'd spent years trying to knock on. 2 months later, Ethan stood in front of a packed auditorium at Valenteca's first community impact event, presenting a new mentorship program for single parents re-entering the workforce. He wore a suit for the first time in years. In the front row, Vanessa sat with Lily on her lap, cheering as he finished his speech. As applause filled the room, Ethan looked out across the audience, business leaders, philanthropists, struggling parents. And thought of all the times he'd almost given up. And yet, there he stood. Not just because he worked hard. But because a little girl believed in kindness, and reminded a billionaire that people matter more than power. Outside the building, Vanessa's car waited. Lily skipped ahead, bunny in hand, laughing as Ethan ran after her. He caught up, lifted her in his arms, and whispered, "You changed our lives, sweetheart." She hugged his neck. "No, Daddy. You did." Moral: sometimes, it only takes one small voice, one honest heart, or one act of kindness to remind the world that humanity matters. In a world of power and prestige, never underestimate the quiet strength of love and the courage of being kind.